I just don't have the opportunity to meet new people anymore. Everyone I know is already settled in their relationships. There's basically little room for me in all the friendships around me. Plus, I've been hurt before, so I'd rather protect myself by keeping others at a distance. If I let someone in, they might leave or hurt me. Listen, I'm too old to find new friends or a partner in life. I'm just not as valuable or attractive as I used to be. What's the point in investing in relationships and staying connected anyway?
Hey there, I'm Victoria, a certified Christian life coach, author, motivational speaker, and university educator, and I am obsessed with helping you navigate through life's ups and downs so that you can live day by day in God's peace despite the many external demands on your time and energy. The Choose to Think Inspirational podcast is about the delicate dance between God transforming you from the inside out and your personal responsibility for change, maturity, and refinement as a Christ follower. On the show, I'll help you connect the dots between your faith and your life in practical, meaningful ways while giving God room to do what only He can do, and so that you can shine your light for Christ and be better equipped to serve your family and help others around you. You can change every area of your life, one thought at a time. Welcome back to the Choose to Think Inspirational podcast, Brain Changer. Let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome back to the Choose to Think Inspirational podcast. This is Victoria, your host. Well, are you hanging in there with our 5-part series on what women over 50 want in life? You can tune in to one episode each month. And so far, we've learned that you want personal and spiritual development. That was part 1. And you also want to be physically and emotionally strong and healthy. Yes, definitely. That was part 2. Remember, for each episode, be sure to download the free checklist that literally itemizes all of the tips and tricks to help you achieve your goals in each area. All 3 free checklists are listed in the show notes of this episode. Be sure to snag your free download so you can establish a few goals in each area and track your progress. Coming in at number 3 of what women want, and listen, if you're not a woman or if you're not quite 50, no worries. Use this information to help spur you on and help you stay on the right track. The tips are priceless and may be fodder for thought. But you want, part 3, healthy, robust relationships, and you want to feel connected. Building and nurturing meaningful relationships remains essential to you. You spend time fostering connections with your family, your friends, partners, and communities, and you're willing to invest time in cultivating new friendships and expanding your social networks. Does that describe you? How would you rank the health of all your relationships? Seriously, on a 1 to 10, kind of do a quick short list and just say, wow, is there a relationship I'd like to improve? Or what can I do differently with this particular friend or in this situation? What is the health of all of your relationships? For me personally, I've noticed that my friendships have evolved considerably during each stage of my life. I think that's probably normal. I've run with different friend groups based on our common interests, although there are a few friendships that have stood the test of time. For example, when my kids were little, I grew close to my peers with kids the same ages as mine through our church and a Mother's Fellowship weekly gathering. Then came the homeschooling years. I developed rich relationships as a result. And now, as my kids have families of their own, Jim and I have invested in many relationships with other like-minded pickleball playing couples. Let me just say that I need these friendships. I still have steady and faithful friends from years of traveling together. Some live far away, and my mentors are in an inner circle of my friends. Think about how Jesus did it. He had his closest friends and disciples. Some speculate that he and John were absolute besties, but others are also recorded as doing life with him. If you could draw a big circle to represent you, how many overlapping circles would you draw to represent your closest friends? Are you comfortable with the number and quality of your friendships, or would you like to grow a tad bit here and add more deep friends in the mix? As I know, it can be uber hard to open up your entire life to someone new, especially if you're over 50 because you've got lots of years to share. I'd like to offer you 15 ways to 1, maintain your relationships and social connections, and 2, develop new ones. You're really going to want the free downloadable list because not only does it include every tip, but it also includes 3 valuable lists of love baskets that you can make and take to that special someone in your life. Plus, we'll tackle those stubborn thoughts that stand in the way of healthy relationships. And as always, there'll be a theme Bible verse or two that undergirds just how important your human relationships really are for your overall emotional health and wellness. And be sure to stay tuned to the very end of this episode today because I have a special prayer for you if you're struggling in any relationship or if you have a prodigal child. Number 1, cultivate and nurture meaningful relationships with family and friends through regular communication and quality time together. Yes, you must be intentional. When my kids were tweens and younger, each kid rotated going out to lunch with me each week. That's just an example of how I tried to be very intentional about building up my relationships with each one of them. This meant once a month for each of my children since I have 4 kids. I took them to McDonald's and we sat and ate and chatted. You've heard me talk about Friday Family Fun Night also. This night was always reserved for family and friends. And Jim and I try to do something each weekend together in addition to pickleball and working out during the week. The point here is to be intentional about communicating and spending quality time together. Start a tradition or get something down on your calendar today. Number 2, adopt an elderly neighbor. In my lifetime, few things have been as rewarding to me personally than finding that little old lady down the street and entering her life with the hopes of gaining a new friend, yes, but also to serve and help her. You can shower her with an I love you because basket. And here are a few ideas. Now, the download that you can get, the free cheat sheet or checklist, has all 10 items just to spur your imagination, to give you some ideas of what you might be able to stick in the basket. I don't want to go through all of those because they have several lists that are included on that download. But a couple of things that you might put in that basket are personal care essentials like travel size toiletries, lotion, lip balm, and grooming items that can help that elderly person feel really pampered. What about calming activities like coloring books for adults? Those are fun. Jigsaw puzzles or stress relief toys like, gadgets to keep their minds engaged and relaxed. And another idea would be assistive devices. Depending on their needs, consider items like a reacher or grabber tool. Have you seen those? Maybe a jar opener, even an electric can opener. I got one of those for my mom several years ago, and she just loves those because sometimes as we age, our joints get achy and it's hard to open a jar. Golly, I have a hard time opening some jars. So those jar openers are really helpful. And sometimes you can mount those to the wall or to a bookshelf or something. And they just put the jar in there and turn the jar on the bottom and it pops open. Magnifying glasses are also really good ideas. Number 3, adopt a single mom. Same thing here. Let her know that you're thinking of her and that you are there to support her by collecting these items and putting them in a cutesy bag, a box, or a basket. All 10 ideas are included in the download, but here are a couple of ideas for that single mom. What about self-care items? You can include items like scented candles, bath salts, a cozy robe, face mask to encourage her to take some time for herself. Every mom needs that, and especially single moms, I think. Gift cards, these would be great. Consider giving gift cards to local restaurants, coffee shops, or grocery stores to provide her with a break from cooking and a chance to treat herself and her kids. Another idea would be neighbor support coupons. Create neighbor support coupons that offer assistance such as babysitting, helping with errands, or providing a listening ear. Number 4 on our list, join social or interest-based groups, clubs, or organizations to meet new people and expand your social circle. Do you knit, sew, read books, enjoy gardening or hiking? There are a gazillion groups out there just waiting for you to join based on your interests. Don't know where to start? Try meetup.com. It's the people platform where interests become friendships. That's our tagline. Whatever your interests are, from hiking and reading to networking and skill sharing, there are thousands of people who share it on Meetup. And events are happening every day there. You can sign up to join. The fun is completely free. You can also join social clubs or organizations centered around hobbies or interests you enjoy, such as book clubs, crafting sessions, exercise classes, to connect with other like-minded individuals. The point here is to expand your social circle and influence. Coming in at number 5 is to volunteer. You can volunteer online or in person for causes or organizations that align with your values and passions to make a positive impact on your community. Nationally, and I'm quoting here, the estimated value of a volunteer's time is $29.95 per hour, according to the Independent Sector, which is an advocacy group for volunteers and community service groups, end quote. One of the great things about volunteering is that you can do it once or you can keep doing it. Research your state to see what organizations are seeking volunteers. In Kentucky, we have servekentucky.com. It's serveky.gov. Did I say .com? .gov. You enter your zip code and voila, scores of opportunities will surface for you. You can even filter based on your interests or skill levels. Again, volunteer for causes or charities that align with your values and provide opportunities for meaningful connections. Engage in acts of kindness by volunteering your time, skills, or resources to help those in need within your community. And at number 6 on how to improve your relationships, add life to them, grow your friendships, grow your circle and your influence. Number 6 is attend networking events, conferences, or seminars related to your profession or areas of interest to connect with like-minded individuals. Have you heard of SCORE, SCORE? It's .org. Their mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. It's 100% free, and they are pivotal to the continued success of SCORE's missions. SCORE volunteers donated more than 4.6 million service hours in 2022 to support their communities. You can attend community events, workshops, or seminars to meet new people and expand your social network. You can also double dip on this list, can't you? Because you may be wanting to find a volunteer opportunity. Well, I just gave you one, SCORE, especially if you are entrepreneurial or you were in business for yourself or you have a lot of business experience. That would be a great place to plug in and volunteer. And what's going to naturally happen? You're expanding your influence. You're meeting new people. You're connecting in a new way. And that's what you want, especially at this time of your life. I don't know anybody who just wants to sit home and watch TV all day, right? We want to, at this point in our lives, we're like, man, we've got so much to offer, so much to share. We want to meet people and expand our influence and our cause for Christ, right? Okay, number 7, engage in activities that foster collaboration and teamwork, such as joining a sports league or participating in group projects. And let me just say that pickleball had to make this list, right? Talk about working as a team. You can check out your city for organized sports leagues. And in Lexington, Kentucky, we have Lexington Sports and Social Clubs. Did you know that? Matter of fact, Jim and his mom and stepdad, 2 of my kids, and I, and one of Jim's sons also, we all bowled not too long ago. And we did that through LexingtonSocial.com. It was a league. We met at Malibu Jack's every week for, 6 or 8 weeks. And we just bowled together. We had 3 generations present there. It was so much fun. They have everything from cornhole to softball at Lexington Social, Sports and Social Clubs. Perhaps you could join a group at church to put on a women's conference or retreat. You can begin to collaborate with others, dream a little bit, plan and organize something that would be of service to so many. Step up and offer your ideas and support. This makes a great way to meet people and stay connected. And number 8, at improving, maintaining, and increasing your connections. How about this one? Make an effort to connect with old friends or acquaintances by reaching out. Take the bull by the horns on this one. Why don't you schedule some reunions, organize a few social gatherings, try to meet with old friends for coffee. You might be surprised at what a 2-hour catch-up will do for both of you. Choose a different friend each week to meet. How about that idea? You could even simply reach out by texting. Just let someone know you're thinking about them. Add them to your prayer list. Pray for them. I have a friend that whenever I say, hey, can you pray for me about this or my family about this? She doesn't just say, yes, I'll pray. She actually records herself praying for that particular situation for me, and she texts that to me. It is so powerful. So that's something you could even do. What about your old high school reunion? Did you ever think about going to that? Why don't you attend reunions or organize gatherings with former colleagues or classmates just to reconnect and reminisce? These tips are things that you can do. You can choose to do these, especially if you're kind of feeling like you're at a time in life when you're feeling a bit disconnected. And by the way, that's very common as your friend groups change, as your life changes, seasons change in your life. You may find yourself at some point with a very, very, very small circle of friends. And that may be the point when you say, hey, I'm going to kind of reach out. I'm going to start a few things. I'm going to reach out to some new friends and I'm going to build new relationships. That's kind of what this episode is all about, especially if you found yourself longing or pining away for deep and meaningful relationships and friendships. Maybe you even need a boost or a reboot in your marriage. Jim and we've really, I was going to say the word vowed, but we're committed to making sure that every week we have time out for each other. And I know some people would say, well, you're still on your honeymoon. Oh, okay, that's fine. But let me tell you, we still have to be so intentional about that. Even just reconnecting with my husband, let alone old friends or acquaintances, every week, that is so important to me. But I've got to be intentional about it. But it's valuable. It's important. I need that. I need that connection. I want to be walking along people who I'm doing life with, not just high waving at them, but in the trenches with them. I need that. I want to be that kind of person for my friends too. Okay, number 9, participate in intergenerational programs or mentorship opportunities to engage with younger individuals and share your wisdom, or older individuals to gain wisdom. That's where you can adopt the elderly person on your street to kind of be the mentee, but you can also take on a mentoring role to share your knowledge and experiences with younger kids, younger ladies, younger people in your field or community. You could volunteer at SCORE or organize your own meetup. You could become a host family for an international student. If you're not aware, at different times of the year, I run a mentoring program called Elevate. We gather weekly for about 6 weeks and we just share life. We gain new perspectives and feel inspired and encouraged to keep on trucking. So if you're interested in that Elevate program, just go to my website, choosetothink.co. That's with the number 2, choosetothink.co. And you can click on the mentoring tab or the Elevate tab, and you can find out more information about joining that program. I do 6 weeks totally free. And then after that, if you want to keep the mentoring going, and it becomes kind of like life coaching at that point, something a little more lengthy, if you found value in that, then you can sign up for paid sessions. But the first 6 sessions are absolutely free. Number 10, show appreciation and express gratitude to your loved ones regularly, both verbally and through gestures or small acts of kindness. My husband, Jim, has noticed recently how stressed and worried I've been. He told me I was looking a little mopey these days. Next thing I know, he's on his hands and feet scrubbing our shower stall in an attempt to help me plug up a few of those emotional leaks in my life, like certain cleaning projects that are on my get-to-do list, but I actually haven't made the time to complete. Seems like the longer they stay on my list, the more burdensome they become to me, and before I know it, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Well, are you this way too? But anyway, this was his way of not only helping me, but also to let me know how much he appreciates me and all that I regularly contribute to our family. He's a gem, all right. Well, can you make your husband his favorite meal? Can you take your parents' dinner? Can you send a gift card or note to that friend who needs encouragement? Tell them how grateful you are for their smiling faces and the presence they have in your life. I've heard that others' care is far more impactful to you personally than self-care. And that's a big whammy, a big fly in the face, right? Because think about that. Really, it's an eyes off self kind of way to live. Now, this doesn't mean that you won't grow weary and that you won't need to take a break as you're practicing others' care, because others' care can be demanding. But what happens here is the reward that you get as you reach out and help others is exponentially greater than what it might be if you're just kind of pampering yourself. And listen, I'm all about pampering myself. There are times when I'm just like, I'm going to spend the money to get a manicure. It's nothing I do regularly, or a pedicure, for example. Matter of fact, until a couple of years ago, I'd never even had a pedicure. And now I just love them. And I think, oh my word, these people who will sit there and work on my legs and feet, they are just angels. I swear they are. But those are kind of pampering things to me, or getting a Starbucks coffee. So it's not that we don't do those things because we need to do those things. We do need to take care of ourselves. But sometimes when you just continue to focus on others instead of gazing at your own navel, I heard that just for the first time, navel gazing. Our culture is so much into navel gazing. It's all about our wants, our needs, what we can do, blah, 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 blah. Even the title of this series kind of is like that, isn't it? What you want. But I think what you're learning that what you want are, yes, things to take good care of your body, the body God's given you, to walk into your calling, to achieve what you're meant to do here on earth, those goals, those dreams that you have, that God-given dreams. Yes, those are all important, but equally important is your relationship with God and serving others. And we stress that often on the show. And what I'm trying to say with all this is that you'll be so richly rewarded as you reach out and as you care for other people. So I want you to pause just for a moment to think of somebody today that you could encourage through a simple, kind gesture or an act of love and service. Truly, it could just be a text, a prayer, a sweet note, an email. Maybe you can take flowers. Maybe you can send some chocolates. Maybe you can do one of those basket ideas that I've given you. But the point is to express your gratitude and appreciation to your loved ones through gestures, thoughtful gifts, and handwritten notes, those kinds of things. Something kind of tangible. Like for Jim, he loves Chick-fil-A, and I happen to have a little Chick-fil-A gift card up here on my desk that I got or somebody gave me. And so I'm going to just write him a little note and thank him for cleaning the tub for me, because generally I do those sorts of things, but like he might vacuum or whatever, but he hates bathrooms. I mean, who does hate to clean or like to clean bathrooms? But you know what? I'm grateful that we have a bathroom. I'm grateful that we have running water, not only running water, but we can get hot water. I'm grateful that I have an able body that I can get down there and clean. I'm grateful that I have mirrors and I've got stocked cleaning supplies and all the things I need in a bathroom to get ready every morning and to do what I need to do, and a big tub and all those things I'm just so grateful for. But I want to just thank him for a moment. And so I'm going to give him one of those cards so that he can go enjoy Chick-fil-A. If you've been listening to the podcast long enough, you will know that my husband Jim and I are avid pickleball players. We love the game and play as often as possible. We even enjoy traveling a bit and competing in tournaments with our friends. When he bought me the DIADEM Warrior paddle for my birthday, I felt like I'd hit the jackpot. He knows how to make a girl happy, all right. Suddenly I had more force and return and serve impact from my smaller frame, and I experienced a whole lot more control of the ball. I really did feel unstoppable and like a warrior. The manufacturer, DIADEM, says this paddle will give you exceptional stability, power, and reactivity. It's made from the highest quality carbon fiber base and grip paint surface for extra ball spin. The grip is exceedingly comfortable, plus you'll get expanded coverage with its overall length and huge relative sweet spot. I play with this paddle every time we play, and I've not gripped anything better, but it is quite pricey. So if you want something about half that price, try the DIADEM Icon. That's the paddle that Jim prefers. He plays with that one and he swears by it. I'll be sure to put all the Amazon affiliate links for these paddles in the show notes. Just click to take a look and let's play ball. Pickleball, that is. Number 11, and we're going to try to move a little bit faster as I keep going here. Plan and organize social outings or trips with friends or family to create lasting memories and strengthen bonds. Again, some of these are lapovers, one laps over the other. Memories and traditions are so important. It's fall in Kentucky and the perfect time to go camping. Can you find a few family members who would love a weekend away? And it doesn't have to be camping. Go to a hotel if you want, or jump on a plane together to go to a new and exciting place and have a great adventure. You could even arrange for something so simple like taking a historic walk around your main city. You could attend local events together based on the season, like art fairs, fall festivals, or sporting events. The point is to be intentional about making memories. Schedule something today. Number 12, embrace technology and utilize social media or online platforms to stay connected with friends and family. Join online communities or participate in virtual events. Do you have a private family-only group on Facebook to share family events and photos and to stay in touch? Although most of my kids are not on Facebook, my parents and my cousins are. We have a family group for my dad's side and my mom's side. It's really very helpful. You could have a family texting group using GroupMe or WhatsApp. These are simple ways to use technology for your advantage. If you don't have any of these groups, go ahead and create one. Get the ball rolling there. 13. Make regular efforts to connect with family members, whether through phone calls, video chats, or in-person visits. Somebody has to initiate. Once I asked my sister, I said, Sandy, why don't you ever call me? And she quickly responded, because you don't give me a chance. You're always calling first. And we laughed about that, but it's true. It's important to me to stay in touch regularly. And if you want a robust relationship with your family members, you will have to take the initiative. And so what? Release the outcomes altogether. Maybe they don't text you back. Maybe they don't text as often as you'd like them to. Who cares? Text them and arrange time with them because it's important to you. If they seldom reciprocate, it doesn't matter. You are doing something that fills your emotional tank and helps you to stay connected. Is someone in your family sick or ill, homebound, or even in the hospital? Try this I love you basket idea. And again, this list will appear on the download that you can get, but I'm just going to give you a few ideas here. Personal care items, like pack a small bag with travel-sized toiletries, including a toothbrush, toothpaste, lotion, lip balm, and other personal care essentials. You can add breath mints or gum when visitors come for them, but maybe there was no time to brush their teeth. How about a cozy blanket or pillow? Hospitals can be chilly, so a soft blanket or comfortable pillow from home can offer some comfort during their stay. While you're at it, grab a lavender pillow spray to help them sleep more soundly. Along those lines, try warm socks or slippers. Hospitals often provide non-skid socks, but a cozy pair of warm socks or comfortable slippers can make them feel more at home. Number 14 is all about food. How about planning and scheduling outings or meals with your friends to maintain and strengthen social connections? Who doesn't love a meal and a movie with a friend, or ice cream and coffee, or a walk in the park? If you feel a tad reluctant to just start texting an old friend, go ahead and make a date to see them over a soda. You can celebrate their birthday or a special time in their life. 15. Initiate conversations with neighbors or engage in activities within your community to foster local connections. Do you even know your neighbors? Well, I just moved into Jim's house last year after we got married. His next door neighbor was his best friend, and I knew that couple already, but they've already moved. And we got new neighbors on the other side. And although I've met them once and we are nice to each other when we see each other outside, I really have not invested the time in getting to know them. This is an idea where Jim and I really could do better. Well, did you know that welcome wagons still exist? Do you remember that? As a kid, my family and I moved so often, and it seems like each time we would move into a new neighborhood, some lady would come knocking on the door and say, "Hey, we're the welcome wagon." Well, they seem to be a bit more into digital marketing nowadays. But what if you created your own little welcome wagon basket for your new neighbors? And here are a couple ideas. But again, there are like 10 ideas total on the download that you're going to get. So here's an idea, a warm welcome card. Just personalize a card with a friendly message. You'd be writing down your name and perhaps your contact information so that they could call you, they could remember your name, and, because they may be meeting other people. Maybe they're coming from out of state, who knows? But go ahead and write them something down in ink and on paper, and you could even include any helpful local tips there. Along those lines, local maps and information. You could include maps of the neighborhood, nearby parks, public transportation routes, and a list of nearby essential services like grocery stores, pharmacies, and restaurants. Household tips and recommendations. Compile a list of your favorite local restaurants, cafes, parks, and other hidden gems, along with any important local contact numbers. Word of mouth is the very best way to recommend your favorite restaurant or a park, something like that. You could even invite them to go play pickleball with you. What the heck? Don't you feel energized after hearing 15 ways to deepen your relationships or foster new ones? But believe it or not, we're only now getting to my favorite part of the show. I'm glad you're hanging with me because we're going to wrap with some pretty powerful notions. So stay tuned. While it's important to recognize that individual experiences and perspectives can vary widely, here are 3 potential thoughts that might stand in the way of some Christian women over 50 and keep them from having healthy relationships. You heard these thoughts at the very beginning of the show. Did any of those resonate with you? Well, one category is self-worth and age. You might struggle with feelings of self-worth and inadequacy due to societal pressures and cultural norms that often place a premium on youth. This could lead to thoughts like, I'm too old to find new friends or a partner, or I'm not as valuable or as attractive as I used to be. These negative self-perceptions can hinder your ability to engage in new relationships and fully appreciate your own worth. What is the biblically based, life giving counterthought? Try this thought instead. I have a wealth of life experiences and wisdom to share, making me a valuable friend and partner at any age. Psalm 92:14 and 15 says, they will still bear fruit in old age. They will still stay fresh and green, proclaiming, the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no wickedness in him. End quote. You're going to bear fruit in your relationships, all right. You have so much to share. And there is someone out there who needs to hear your story to gain priceless insights from your mistakes and to be encouraged by what the Lord has done in your life. You're never too old to start something good, and this includes developing new friendships. Somebody out there is going to be warmed by the fire of your friendship, and it may not just be your mistakes. It could be your trials, your hardship, and the grief that you've endured in this life. Here's another toxic thought or attitude. Fear of vulnerability. Ever been there? As you've gotten older, no doubt you've experienced various life challenges, disappointments, and losses. This accumulation of experiences can sometimes lead to a fear of opening up and being vulnerable in new relationships, especially romantic ones. You might think, I've been hurt before, so I'll protect myself by keeping others at a distance. Or if I let someone in, they might leave me or hurt me. This fear can hinder the development of deep and meaningful connections. Try these God-honoring, empowering thoughts instead. While I've experienced pain and hardship, I also have the capacity to experience joy and deep connections. Opening up allows for genuine relationships to flourish. 1 John 4:18 says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. I tell you, after being single for 20 years, it was a huge leap of faith to enter into a dating relationship and marry at my age. And if it hadn't been for a couple of friends, hi Candy and Shelby, I know you're listening. These friends called a spade a spade. Well, the three of us were at a business conference in Dallas in 2021. Well, if it hadn't been for them, I'm not sure where Jim and I would be nowadays. Apparently, they said I talked nonstop about him during that trip. It was like they could see something that I couldn't. They encouraged me to be nice to Jim. And let me tell you, there's so much more to this story. But suffice it to say that because of their God-honoring wisdom and by the grace of God, this guy who made me laugh more than I ever had in my life and still does, became my best friend and husband. Are you holding a secret from your best friend, from your spouse? Are you afraid of their response and what they might think of you? Encourage your heart and mind that as you open up and share your inner thoughts with your loved ones and your besties, you are opening the door for love and grace to be ushered in. My husband Jim loves me despite a gazillion missteps on my part. The grace we have extended one another, especially at our age, is the bedrock of our marital strength. When we show grace, when we forgive, when we love, when we are transparent and vulnerable with each other, we glorify God. There is no darkness. There is no room for secrets to fester. Our hearts are laid bare before God and one another. It's a very sweet and tender way to do life and have a relationship. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's definitely worth it. So be encouraged to look fear in the face and tell it to be gone out of your life. Instead, trust the Lord. Here's another category of God-limiting and self-limiting thoughts. It's all about limited social circles. Over time, your social circles can naturally become smaller due to life changes such as retirement, children moving out, and other transitions. Maybe you feel stuck in smaller social circles and believe, I don't have the opportunity to meet new people anymore, or everyone I know is already settled in their relationships. This limited exposure to new relationships can impede the growth of of a diverse and vibrant social network. The empowering counterthought is I can proactively seek out new opportunities to connect with people who share my interests and values. Supporting Bible verse, Proverbs 18:24. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. That's kind of connected. Maybe not exactly, but the point here is to let you know that go ahead. Even though your social circles seem to be limited, I've given you a boatload of ways to connect, to join different groups and networking groups and just so many different ways to help you actually connect. You just have to take that first step. It's important to note also that these thoughts are not universal to all Christian women over 50. Many women in this demographic maintain healthy relationships and develop new ones with great success. Overcoming these potential barriers might involve practicing self-compassion, seeking support from friends, mentors, family, or professionals, or guidance counselors to help you challenge those negative thought patterns, and actively participating in activities or communities that align with your interests and values. So there you have it. Part 3 in our series of What Women Over 50 Want in Life. Would you leave a comment about what spoke to you the most from this episode? Have you been challenged in any way, encouraged, resolved to make changes in your relationships? Now, as we close, I promised that I wanted to encourage that listener who was working very hard to maintain boundaries in an extremely difficult or challenging, perhaps even heartbreaking relationship. Maybe you have a prodigal child. Maybe your husband is trapped in addiction. Please, please do not lose heart. Although all of our earthly relationships help us to grow closer to Christ and become more Christ-like in our very souls and nature, there is only one relationship that will sustain you and strengthen you during life's most difficult moments and seasons. There is the one who will never let you down, who is always there for you, and who knows your pain in the most intimate of ways. And that is your relationship with Christ. If you have exhausted yourself trying to hold up God-honoring boundaries, and if you are bone weary from praying for that child who has gone astray, lay it all down today. Surrender your very heart and all those thoughts that crowd in and incite fear and anxiety. Let go of blaming yourself and engaging in 1,000 what ifs. Release control to God. As the psalmist asks in Psalm 121, ask yourself too, where does my help come from? And then answer it, my help comes from the Lord. He is the one who will give you the strength you need today to endure the most challenging and trying of all human relationships. He will hold your hand every step of the way. He will whisper tenderly in your ear of how much he loves you. He will gently remind you that he has your loved one, that he knows what he's doing, and that his way is best. Take a deep breath and feel the life start to come back into your heart and lungs. Get a teeny glimpse of rekindled joy as it is ignited in your heart. Worry will not strengthen your tomorrow. It will only zap the strength from your today. That's a Corrie ten Boom paraphrased quote. Please take all those toxic thoughts captive and reorient to God's life-giving truth. You are not alone. God is with you. When you can't go on anymore, he will sustain you. He has given you the blessing of this very day. Enjoy it. Rejoice in it. Be glad in this very day. And now, let me say a prayer for you. Father in heaven, bring light where there is darkness in any relationship. Bring hope where there is despair. Bring life where resurrection is needed. Bring joy where there is grief. Help my sweet friend to know that you are holding her day by day as she walks through this sometimes agonizing season. Help her to know that right now, right this minute, how much you love her and the extent you went to prove it. Help her to receive your grace. Be her all-sufficiency. Bless her, Lord, today. Help her relationships to flourish. Nourish her heart so that she can nourish others. Guide her every single moment of every single day. Help her to know that you're with her. Help her to sense your presence. Wrap your arms around her and whisper tenderly in her ear that you love her, that you're with her, that you will never leave her, that you know her struggles and her trials, and that you care for her loved ones more than she ever possibly could herself. You are enough for her, and you are enough for her loved ones. In Jesus' name, amen. And that's a wrap, Brain Changer. And listen, if you like what you hear, would you leave us a 1 to 2 sentence review at Apple Podcasts? Share the link with a friend or tag me on your share on social media. It would mean the world to me and would help us to keep shining the light of Christ and sharing the good news to others who are in need of encouragement. Please visit us on our website at choosetothink.co. That's with the number 2, choosetothink.co, to get on our monthly newsletter list. And if you need a guest speaker for your next women's retreat or church event, I'm your gal. Email me at choosetothink@gmail.com, and that's with the number 2, choosetothink@gmail.com. Finally, I offer limited free mentoring sessions each month where you and I can chat to help you develop a strategy for your thoughts in any area of your life. I'm a certified life coach and I have something to share. Visit choosetothink.co and click on mentoring for more details. Also, keep in mind that the messages on this show are for informational and educational purposes only. Please consult your medical doctor for all medical issues. Thank you again for tuning in. God bless you.